Good morning, everyone. Welcome to Intermediate Second Year webinar series of Telangana State Model Schools. In today's physics webinar session, we have with us Sri N.V. Subramaniam Garu, PGT Physics, Telangana Model School and Junior College, Turkapalli, Yadadri, Bhuvanagiris District. Sir, welcome, sir.
Good morning, madam.
Sir, in his previous sessions has dealt with electric potential. In today's class, sir will be dealing with capacitance. So, different ways of storing things. How to store a charge? An interesting part is the storage capacity is called of a charge is called capacitance, and what are the various parameters or the terms involved in capacitance? How do you define capacitance as? All these interesting concepts will be presented by Subramaniam sir today. Sir, over to you.
Thank you, madam. Good morning, children. So, we are back with the sixth part of electric potential and capacitance. Let me start the presentation, children. So, this is electrostatic potential and capacitance, part 6 of this webinar series. And good morning to Principal Garu Shailja madam, our coordinator. So, let me begin this webinar session with the learning objectives. The first learning objective, capacitors. Second one, capacitance. Third one, parallel plate capacitor. The derivation of the expression for capacitance of parallel plate capacitor. So these are the three learning objectives for today's session. So let us go ahead with this particular session. Before we actually go into the session, let us have a small recall of the important points which were dealt earlier in the series. The first point, inside the conductor, electrostatic field is zero. At the surface of a conductor, the electrostatic field must be normal to the surface at every point. The interior of a conductor can have no excess charge in the static condition. Electrostatic potential is constant throughout the volume of the conductor and has the same value as inside on its surface. Electric field at the surface of a conductor is E is equal to sigma by epsilon 0 into n cap, where sigma is the surface charge density and epsilon 0 is the constant. Whatever be the charge and field configuration outside, any cavity in a conductor remains shielded from outside electric influence. The field inside the cavity is always zero. This is called electrostatic shielding. So let me begin this particular session by asking you a simple question. On the screen, we are seeing a tap filling up water. So to fill the water, we need a vessel. We all know that. So here, the commodity being filled is the water, and it is being filled in a particular vessel. Okay. So please remember this. Now the question what I am asking to you is, see the next particular screen, and I will ask you the question. So again, the tap with so many vessels near the tap. Now observe the vessels carefully, children. Do all of them have the same volume? That means, will all of them store same amount of water? That is the question I am asking. The answer is no. the amount of water they can store is different for different sizes of the vessels what we are using. So this is a very important point. So basing on the particular property called as size, the amount of water which it can store will go on varying. So please keep this in mind as I move ahead and look at the next question. So we are already able to see that the vessels are used to store water. Different vessels are having different capacity to store the water. Here capacity, the capacity to store water. Yes, that is an important word. So here capacity denotes the ability of that particular vessel to store the water. So here we have our student who is thinking, can we store charge? That is the question in his mind. So now the line of thinking what we are following is, just like a vessel can store water, is there any electrical device which can store the charge? That is a question what we are asking to ourselves. Because for the past few webinar sessions, we have been talking about charge, electric field, electric potential, so on, about different parameters and different quantities. So charge itself is a physical quantity. We have seen a body can get charged. So the question is, can we store the charge? That is the question. Then immediate question what comes to our mind is, why do we want to store the charge? So these two questions can be answered very simply. Yes, we can store the charge. Second point is, why do we want to store the charge? Charge is nothing but electrical energy. So charge itself is electrical energy. So if we are able to store the charge, that itself means that we are able to store the electrical energy. So that answers the two questions what we have asked. Can we store the charge? Yes, we can store the charge. And the electrical energy is getting stored in the form of charge. So now I want you to look at the screen. There is a small important device which is being shown to you. Many of you might not know it, but it's a very important device. This is a battery capacitor flash, children. It is used in a camera. See, you all know that a flash in a flashlight is used in a camera whenever the lighting is low. So in low lighting, if you want to take a picture, you use a flashlight. Yes or not? And the important device used there is the battery capacitor. It produces a burst of light so that we will be able to take a clear picture. That is the purpose of this battery capacitor flash. And the most important device in that is the capacitor. So what is this capacitor? It is a device which can store the charge. So a device which can store the charge is the capacitor. Okay, so now we got the answer for our earlier question. Can we store the charge? Yes, we can store the charge. Then what is the name of the device which can store the charge? Capacitor. A capacitor can store the charge. So let us move on, children. So here, many of you might have seen at the back of your, when you go to some mechanic shop or something, you might have seen number of circuit boards. Yes, in that circuit board, you might have seen elements like these. These are nothing but capacitors. So in different circuit boards, they are used for various purposes, children. And you are able to see there are different sizes of capacitors. That means their capacities are different. Some are high capacitance, some are low capacitance. Okay. So let us move on. I hope you are following. Children. Let me rename. children. Thank you, children, for being patient with me. So now let us continue the discussion. So we are talking about capacitor. So what is a capacitor here? A combination of two conductors placed close to each other is called as a capacitor. Technically speaking, whenever two conductors are kept close to each other with a small gap between them, that can be called as a capacitor. So I will show you that with the help of a schematic diagram. Let us see. Now you are seeing on the screen, there are two conductors. One of them is positively charged with plus Q charge on it. One of them is minus Q charge on it. So negative charge on the second conductor, positive charge on the first conductor. And they are held close together with slight gap between them. Then this arrangement can be called as a capacitor. Okay, this arrangement can be called as a capacitor. So we all know that whenever such an arrangement is made, definitely what will happen is you will see that there can be electric field between them. So children, this is only a schematic diagram. Okay. So to make you understand clearly, we have drawn like that. The actual parallel plate capacitor will come a little later. Okay. So there is some electric field between the between the conductor positively charged and between the conductor negatively charged. So now if you see carefully, the electric field between them is created from plus charge to minus charge. So electric field is always from positive charge to negative charge. So let me move on. The charge on the capacitor is plus Q. So now whenever we are talking about these two as a system, what is the charge on the capacitor? That is the question we are asking. The charge is taken as plus Q. Although the net charge is plus Q minus Q, if you add, what will you get net charge? Net charge on the system is 0 actually. But we take the charge on the capacitor as Q children. Okay. So let me move on. So if you see carefully, the plus Q charge has potential V1. The minus Q charged conductor potential is minus V2. That itself means that here this positive charge is creating plus V1 potential. This negative charge is creating minus V2 potential. There is a potential difference between them. Okay. So this is higher potential, this is lower potential. So automatically we are able to see that there is a potential difference between the two conductors. So the potential difference between the conductors is V is equal to V1 minus V2. Plus V1 means V1 no. So V1 minus V2. Now you tell me, all of you, what happens to this potential difference if I increase the charge on these conductors? Let us say I added some more charge on this plus charge. I added some more charge on this minus charge. Then automatically what will happen? This V value will increase or not? So if you see carefully, children, 1 minute. If you take, for example, this is one particular conductor we are having. This is positively charged. Yes or not? Okay. This was negatively charged. Yes. Now my point is, if we add few more charges like this, here also I am adding few more charges. Then what happens to the potential difference value? This will increase or decrease? Yes, definitely it will increase. Definitely it will increase. Because greater the charge, greater will be the electric field value, then greater will be the potential difference created. So that clearly shows that if you see, the charge is directly proportional to the potential difference. The charge on the capacitor is directly proportional to the potential difference. As you are increasing the charge, the potential difference is also increasing. So now you are able to see Q proportional to V, where Q is the charge on the capacitor, V is the potential difference. So Q is proportional to V, children, or Q is equal to C into V. What is this C? It is a constant of proportionality. You have already studied number of times in physics. Whenever we remove the proportionality sign, we get a constant. Let the constant of proportionality is C. Okay. So what is this C known as? C is a constant of proportionality called the capacitance of the capacitor. Okay, what is C known as? C is a constant of proportionality called capacitance of the capacitor. Capacitance here denoting the ability. Here, if you talk in general terms, children, the word capacitance, the capacitance in English, what does capacitance mean? In English, you all know that the word capacitance, capacity in English, what does it mean? You all know that capacity means ability. So your capacitance actually means ability. So ability of the capacitor to hold the charge or to store the charge. To store the charge. So, for example, if you are having a capacitor of higher capacitance, like let us say there are two capacitors, let us say. For example, one capacitor has capacitance some 500 microfarad. Okay, here farad denoting its unit, children. Another capacitor denoting, let us say, 1000 microfarad. Then automatically this means that this is having lesser capacity, this is having more capacity. So this can store less charge. Okay, this can store less charge, whereas this can store more charge. So that is what a student should understand by the meaning of word capacitance. So whenever we are telling value of the capacitance, by seeing the value you can judge which is having higher ability to store the charge and which is having lower ability to store the charge. Okay, so let's move on. Now capacitance is C is equals to Q by V. Q is CV. No, what did you see here? Q is equal to CV. So from Q is equal to CV, V goes to the other side. Then what do we get in the equation? Capacitance C is equals to Q by V. Q means what? Charge. V means potential difference. The Q is measured in coulombs, children. Charge is measured in coulombs. And V means potential difference. And potential difference is measured in volt. So definitely the SI unit of capacitance should be coulomb per volt. That is coulomb volt inverse. This coulomb per volt itself is known as farad. What is it known as? Farad. And capacitance is what type of quantity? It's a scalar quantity. What type of quantity? Scalar quantity. Okay, it doesn't have any direction. It has only magnitude. Okay, this farad is there, no? This farad symbol is, remember? Okay, this farad symbol, children. 1 minute. Please remember here, I'm writing for you. For the benefit of all of you, this farad symbol is capital F. Please remember, what is the symbol for farad? Capital F. Okay. So from now onwards, you remember, whenever you see capital F symbol, that is a symbol for farad. And that farad is actually named after the famous scientist Michael Faraday. Okay. So farad is a unit of capacitance and it is equal to coulomb per volt. Okay. Shall we move on? Let us now move on to the next point. Capacitance of a capacitor depends on what factors? That is a question which comes to our mind. It depends on shape of the conductor, size of the conductors, geometrical placing of the conductors, medium between the conductors. Four important points. Capacitance depends on shape of the conductor, size of the conductor. Shape and size. That means you know that when you change the shape, the area of that particular conductor will change and the amount of charge it can store also will change. That is the reason why capacitance depends on the shape and size. Next, geometrical placing of the conductor. This means that how much distance you are keeping the two conductors. The closer you keep, the more the, see, if you keep them, actually, the closer you keep, more will be the capacitance. That you will see as you see in the parallel plate capacitor. Then medium between the conductors, this will be discussed in the next webinar session. Okay. So for the time being, you remember that there are four factors actually: shape, size, geometrical placing, and medium between the conductors. So this is an important point. Remember, please remember, make a note of it in your notebook. What is the symbol for capacitance? Two parallel lines which are equal in length. You see here, parallel lines equal in length. That is called symbol for capacitance. Children, one point I want to tell here, very important. Generally, students make this mistake. You know that in your school level, you studied about this symbol. This is symbol for battery. Everybody knows. This is symbol for what? Battery. Okay. But this is symbol for, see these lines, equal length lines. One big line, one short line, that is battery. Two equal spaced lines, that is symbol for, what is that symbol for? Capacitance. Let us call it as, okay. Students should remember this point, very, very important. Okay. When you are drawing circuit diagrams, don't make the mistake of drawing one big line, one small line for capacitor. Okay. Always equal lines with small spacing between them. Then please see here two important points again. This is a symbol for fixed capacitance, children. In the textbook also they are mentioning fixed capacitance. Okay. Then this is a symbol for variable capacitance. Okay. This is a variable capacitance symbol. Variable capacitance means the value of the capacitance can be changed according to our wish. Okay. In the electronic market, you will have different types of capacitors available. There will be fixed capacitors also. There will be variable capacitances available also. Whichever you want, you can use according to your purpose. Okay. I suppose I am clear. Let me move on. So before I go on to the important topic of this day, first I want you to recollect one important point. Electric field due to a uniformly charged infinite plane sheet is given by E is equal to sigma by 2 epsilon 0. This is only magnitude I am telling. I am not telling the actual vector equation. I gave you only the magnitude of electric field. Sigma denotes the charge density. Okay, this we dealt already in the earlier unit in Gauss law applications. So I suppose if you go back to your earlier webinar in electric charges and fields, you will find it there. Okay, the entire derivation and also the value of the electric field. So please remember this. This we are using now in this particular derivation. Okay. Now this brings us to the most important question for the final exam. One of the most important questions for final exam. This is a parallel plate capacitor. So in the picture you are able to see two metal plates, children. See this one and this one. I am marking for you. If you see, 1 minute. See this one. This is one parallel plate. This is one parallel. See, concentrate on the red dot, children. This is one parallel plate. This is another plate with small spacing between them. Okay. So this is one example of a parallel plate capacitor. Okay. I hope you followed. Now, if you see carefully, we are having on the screen two flat metal, two flat plates, children. Plain, you can call them as plain conductors. Okay. So plain plates. This is one plate. This is another plate. Each plate has area A and the distance between them is D. Okay. So A is the area of each plate. D is the distance between the plates. So here important point to note is the D square value will be very much, I'm sorry, this has to be reversed, children. D square value must be very much less than A value. That means area of the plates is, this please correct it. One minute, children. I'm sorry, the typographical error. So D square very small than A means that area is very large compared to the distance. Okay. So now if you see carefully, I connected battery here. Okay. What did I do? I connected a battery here. So when I connect the battery, what will happen? Plus side will give plus charge to the one plate. And due to the negative side, there will be a minus charge on the another plate. So that means how many, if you see carefully, how many charges are there here? Plus charge on one plate, minus charge on another plate. Plus Q to the one plate, minus Q to the another plate. Okay. So now if you see carefully, that schematic diagram I am showing like this. Okay. Now we are having one plate here, one plate. How many plates are there? Two plates. One plate got positive charge, another plate got negative charge. Okay. So now you see one minute. I'm stopping the share. Just a minute. I'm stopping the share and concentrate on the children. Just to concentrate on the what I am showing. Okay. If you see carefully, there are two plates, no children, like this. There are two plates like this. One top plate, one bottom plate. So when you give battery connection, you know that they will get charged. Yes or not? So now where will the charge be? That is the question. The charge will be on the facing surfaces. Facing surfaces means this side for one plate, and if you see carefully, this side for another. That means if you keep like the this side and this side are the facing surfaces. So the charge will be entirely on that particular side. Plus Q on one and minus Q on another. Okay. So that is how the charges will be. So let me continue sharing the screen. Okay. So now if you see carefully, this this is the positive charge, this is the negative charge. Let us continue. Now if there is a positive charge on one plate and negative charge on another plate, definitely there will be an electric field. So let the electric field between the plates is E. Okay. So now I want to know what is the capacitance of this capacitor. For that, what is the method I have to, in which method I have to proceed? Let us see. Okay. So what I am going to do is, children, first I am going to calculate what is the electric field value. Using that electric field value, I am going to calculate what is the potential difference. Then in the last step of the derivation, I will use capacitance formula C is Q by V. So we know, once we know potential difference, I will substitute that potential difference, I will know the capacitance. Okay, children? So whenever you are doing a derivation, you must have the proper plan in the mind, how to get the final answer. So what are the different steps involved? So now the steps are clear. First calculate electric field. Using that calculate potential difference. Then using that calculate capacitance. So this flow, if it is clear in your mind, then automatically you will be able to proceed. You can proceed with clear understanding. So after this step will come. After this step will come. Okay, shall we proceed? So before we actually go to the derivation, I wish to again put these important points. A charge plus Q is put on one plate and minus Q is put on another. Okay. Potential difference between the plates is V, that we already saw. V is V1 minus V2. Next, the charges will appear on the facing surfaces that already I have explained. The last one, the surface charge density on each surface is sigma is Q by A. This is already we know, we saw earlier also. So each surface charge density is how much? Q by A. Sigma is Q by A. Q is the charge on it, A is the area. Okay. So to calculate the electric field, now I am assuming three regions, children. Carefully, if you see, how many regions are there? Three regions. First, outer region, this one, outer region number 1. Next, outer region number 2. Next, inner region number 3. Are you able to see the three regions, children? Okay. So first, let me calculate the electric field for outer region number 1. This you have to do carefully. So let me explain. Okay. You see here, children, how is the configuration actually? If you see carefully, that plates are like this. One plate is like this. One plate is like this. Okay. So here there is positive charge. Here there is negative charge. Now this is the first region which we are considering. This region. Okay. First region. Region number 1. Now if you take any point here, at this point how many fields are going to get created? One field will be due to positive charge. One field will be due to negative charge. That means at that point, there are going to be two fields, children. One due to the positive uh, plane plate, another one due to the negative plane plate. So, what is the direction of electric field? Do you remember, children? Plus Q charge electric field, how it will be always away from it. Minus Q charge electric field, how it will be towards the charge. This rule you follow here again. Now this is positive charge electric field, no? That will be away from it. Let us call it as E. Okay. Then what about the negative charge electric field? That will be towards it. That is E. Yes. Now that means that there are two fields which are oppositely acting at this particular region. Then net electric field, how we will calculate? That is, I will calculate as, this is, let us say E positive, E negative. E positive minus E negative. Why I am doing minus? Very simple reason. Because they are opposite vectors, I must do minus. Positive charge electric field, sigma by 2 epsilon 0. Negative charge electric field, sigma by 2 epsilon 0. Cancel. That means how much is the answer? For the first region, electric field is 0. That means outside the plate, there is no electric field due to this parallel plate capacitor. Am I clear, children? So, E plus, E minus, acting oppositely. So, we subtract it. Okay? So, see what happened. Electric field E is equal to sigma by 2 epsilon 0 minus sigma by 2 epsilon. What is the answer? E is 0. For which region? Outer region number 1. Now, go to the next region. Outer region number 2. In this also, let us try to again see. Let us see. Okay. Once again, if you see our positive plate, okay, our negative plate, this is positive plate, okay, children, this is negative plate. Where is our outer region number 2 here? Choose any point. Let us say one point I am taking. Again, how many fields will be there? One due to the positive charge, one due to the negative charge. So again, let us see. Positive charge electric field will be away from it. So if this is positive charge, then away from the charge. That means it should go away. This is E positive. Then this is negative charge. Negative charge electric field is towards it. E minus. That means again the second region electric field is, both the fields are opposite. That means I must subtract E positive minus. That means I will get sigma by 2 epsilon 0 minus sigma by 2 epsilon 0. I will get final answer how much? 0 again. Okay, children, again I will get 0 only. That means even in the second region also, electric field is 0. Outer region, that means what did we learn from this? Outer region 1, outer region 2, there is no electric field at all. Okay, due to the capacitor plates. Now, what about the third region, children? Inner region. This you have to calculate carefully. Shall we do it? Okay. So, again, take up the third region, children. One is positive plate. Okay. Positive plate. Let me draw. one is negative plate. Okay, this is the negative plate. This is our third region, yes or not? Now take any point in the third region. How many fields will be there? One due to positive, one due to negative. Positive charge field is always away from you, E positive. Negative charge field is, this is negative, no. Negative charge field is towards it. That means this is also this side only. Now see, very, very important. Both E plus and E minus are in the same direction. Are in same direction, children. They are in the same direction. That means what is the meaning of this? We will add or subtract. When vectors are in same direction, we have to add. That means in the third region, electric field is E plus plus E minus. That means sigma by 2 epsilon 0 plus sigma by 2 epsilon 0. That means we will get answer how much, all of you? 2 sigma. Sigma plus sigma, 2 sigma. Because denominators are equal. That means this is cancelled. That means how much are we going to get? Sigma by epsilon 0. So third region electric field is equals to, if you see carefully, the value is how much? Sigma by epsilon 0. And what is the third region? The region in between the plates. That means in between the plates, there is electric field, which is equal to sigma by epsilon 0. Okay. So the electric field is equal to sigma by 2 epsilon 0 plus sigma by 2 epsilon 0, which is 2 sigma by 2 epsilon 0. That is sigma by epsilon 0. So I think the explanation is clear, children. Okay. Electric field is equal to sigma by epsilon 0. Here, charge density sigma is Q by A. No, already we saw that. So substitute that. Electric field is Q by A by epsilon. Now tell me, children, what happens to this A? This will come to denominator. That means electric field is Q by A by epsilon 0. Electric field is equal to Q by epsilon 0 A. Let us call that as equation number 1. E is Q by epsilon 0 into A. I told you, no. This A will come to the denominator in the simplification. And Q will be in the numerator. So E is Q by epsilon 0 into A. So the electric field between the plates is uniform except for a small region near the edges. So I will just show you this one. Okay. So if you see carefully the parallel plate capacitor, we know that it is having arrangement like this. Yes or not? So plus charge and minus charge. Then electric field will be here in between the plates. It will be uniform field, whereas in the edges means in this region it will be non-uniform. That is what they are telling me. Okay, so the uniform field means that anywhere between the plates, field will have same value as well as same direction, and its value will be equal to E sigma by epsilon 0, as we have seen. This now we will use for the derivation. Okay, already we know that the potential difference between the plates is V, and V can be given by what formula? V is equal to ED. Where did you get this formula, children? From where did you get? You already know, children. We saw E is equals to dV by dr minus dV by dr. You saw or not? If you neglect that minus sign, then you will get E is dV by dr. Yes or not? So what is this dV? This dV actually potential difference. We saw in this lesson only, right or not? So this is potential difference. This is the distance between the 2 points, right or not? That means in the present situation, this plate, positive plate, negative plate, this is positive plate of the capacitor, this is negative plate of the capacitor. Okay, plus Q charge, minus Q charge. What is the potential difference between these two? V. What is the distance between the two? D. That means if you apply this formula here, use this formula for this situation, and what is the electric field? E. That means E is equals to V by D. Potential difference is V, distance is D. That means E is V by D, or I will get V is equals to ED. So no need for any confusion, children. You can easily understand. Okay. So V is ED, call that as equation number 2. Okay. Substitute equation 1 in equation 2. What do we get? In the place of V, we must substitute Q by epsilon 0 A. Then potential difference between the plates is V is Q by epsilon 0 A into D. Call that as equation number 3. Okay, all of you? Are you clear, children? Shall I move on? So this is 3 equation. Capacitance of the parallel plate capacitor is C is Q by V. This already we saw formula. Now what do we do? Already we got the V value here. That substitute in the equation number 4. Okay, substituting 3 in 4. Capacitance C is equals to Q by, children, Q by epsilon 0, that is Q divided by QD by epsilon 0 into A. Okay, I hope you followed. So again, I am showing that Q by epsilon 0 A into D. How will you simplify this, children? Yes, tell me. There are BPC students also in this physics class. How will you simplify this? You have studied in your school level. How to simplify this? This is like this. Yes or not? Into D. Then what will you do with this? You have studied already in your maths. Into, what do you write this? Tell me. This is, 1 minute. Let me take an eraser. So this is epsilon 0 A divided by QD. Right or not? That's how you have to write. So Q cancel. What are you left with? C is equals to epsilon 0 A divided by D. This is the formula for final capacitance of the parallel plate capacitor. So after simplification, capacitance is epsilon 0 A divided by D. Okay. So capacitance is, please remember, directly proportional to A and inversely proportional to D. So what does this mean to us? If you are having, let us say, area A plate, okay, and the capacitance is C is epsilon 0 A by D, okay, and if you are having double the area plate, double the area, if you are having double the area, then what will you write with same distance? Distance is D. Here also distance is D. That means if you double the area, what will happen? Instead of, 1 minute. So epsilon 0 into, in the place of A, now we will write 2A divided by D. This is, let us say, new capacitance, some C dash. Then what do we get, children? 2 we can write outside 2 epsilon 0 A divided by D, right? That means, but this is already C value. Let us call it as equation 1 then. Okay, so C dash is equals to, if I substitute 1 in the, let us call this as 2. Okay, if I substitute 1 into, what I will get? C dash is equals to 2 into C. That means what happened? If you double the area, then capacitance also doubled. That is the meaning of proportional to A, directly proportional to A. In the formula, what you saw, earlier formula, C proportional to A by D, you saw or not? This means that C is directly proportional to area. That means if you double the area, capacitance also double. That is the reason why I have shown you mathematically what will happen. So if area is doubled, if area of the plate is doubled, capacitance is also doubled. Okay, clear? I suppose you understood the meaning of what I have told you. Okay, so that brings me to the end of the session. I will just recollect what we have learned. Number 1, a combination of two conductors placed close to each other is called a capacitor. 2, capacitance C is Q by V. 3, capacitance of parallel plate capacitor C is epsilon 0 A by D. Okay, that means directly proportional to A, inversely proportional to D. That means if area is increased, capacitance will increase, and if distance is increased, capacitance will decrease. You know the meaning of inverse proportionality. We will talk more about it in the next session. To test your understanding, I am giving you 2 simple questions. A capacitor gets a charge of 90 mu C when it is connected to a battery of EMF 12 volts. Calculate the capacitance of the capacitor. Very simple question. I will give the answer in the next session. Not to worry. Those who can try, please try. This is actually the charge value. This is the potential difference. You can use the formula C is Q by V. You will get the answer. Okay. Then the second question. What happens to the capacitance of a parallel plate capacitor if the area of the plates is doubled? This is a textbook question and an important question for your examination. So in this particular session, I have covered 2 very important questions as well as topics for not only the public exam, but also the entrances also. One is a capacitance and parallel plate capacitor, and the another one is the actual factors on which the capacitance depends. So please go through them, learn them properly, remember them, memorize them. The derivation is very important for the final examination. Please practice as much as possible.
Thank you, sir. Thank you so much. As sir told, dear students, as sir was telling, the derivation of capacitance of a capacitor is very important. And I think you have pretty well understood what is a capacitor, how to store the charge of a capacitor. Children, if you find any doubts, please revisit the session once again and make your own notes. Thank you.
Thank you, ma'am, for the opportunity. I sincerely thank my coordinator for this opportunity.